Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cat Williams, and you are listening to 3-Point Conversion Radio.
A lot of people talk about the experience that, this Chiefs team has going to where they've been the last 3 years. Andy Reid, of course. You guys got a lot of experience on your coaching staff, maybe not as much as players, on the coaching staff. How much is that a comfort for you guys to know that you got a lot of guys, your coaches, they've been there a lot. I mean, 8 times for Brian, of course, on your side of the ball. Sean's, Coach McDermott's been there 6 times, Leslie Frazier 4. How comfortable is that for you?
I mean, it's extremely comforting. And just being able to talk about Dave's and the notes that he's had from the previous games that he's played in, the guys that he's been with, especially just the tidbits that they shared with him back in the day. And again, it's just try not to make it bigger than one needs to be. It's another game. It's the next one, and it's the most important one because it is the next one. And we can't think about anything past that. We got to focus on, like I said, Sunday night, 6 o'clock.
Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Josh, a lot of people say that at this point, when you make it to the AFC or the NFC Championship game, it's the locker rooms that are the closest that have the best bet making it there, of course, with talent on the side. But how much truth do you think there is to that, and why do you think there's truth to that?
And I believe that's an extremely, powerful message. And the reason being, you trust the guys. You want to play for them, and you don't want to let them down. And that's what we got in this locker room, a lot of love for each other. Guys that go out there and bust their tails each and every day, guys that continue to hold each other accountable, and that's set from the top. But that's Kim and Terry and the precedent that they've set from the front office to the head coach, down through everybody in this organization. So we're all pulling for one thing. We're beating with one heartbeat right now, and it's a good feeling. We all, like I said, trust each other, and we're out in that field. We got each other's backs.
Do you think there's a little bit more ease to this week because you trust each other and because you have each other's back to a certain degree, feeling a little bit more loose or relaxed in the moment?
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to change who we are. Like I said, it's obviously the biggest game, like I said, because it's the next one. But we understand that we don't have to be anyone different than who we are. And if we can go out there and execute and play the game the right way and trust each other and play complementary football, odds are the results are going to be pretty good. But it goes a lot into it. They get paid on that side of the ball too, and like I said, they're a really good team. They're defending champs. They understand how this game goes. They've been in it the last couple of years. They got one of the best, if not the best, quarterback in the league, and one of the best young players to ever play the game. So like I said, on the offensive side of the ball, it's holding on to the football and making sure that we're not making any mistakes and executing when we need to execute.
Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Josh, Matt Bove here. I know this is something that happens every single week with it being a quarterback-driven league. Last week it's Lamar versus Josh. This week it's Josh versus probably Patrick. And I know it's just one game at a time, but does that motivate you at all a little bit more, knowing the company of the quarterbacks that's still left standing?
I mean, not really. And I'm just trying to be the best version of myself. I'm not trying to compare to the other, 3 guys who arguably, it's some of the best guys that ever played the game that are left. And it's good company to be in for sure. But again, I'm just focused on what I can do for the Buffalo Bills and how I can help this offense move the ball and put us in good situations.
Josh, a couple of weeks ago, you told us that you ended up where you're supposed to be, being obviously Buffalo. And I was just wondering if you could elaborate on that a little bit.
Just the feeling, the sense that I get here, it feels like home, and, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, Josh, I'm doing a story on Deion Dawkins this week, and every time you see the guy talk, I mean, he's so full of energy and obviously so well liked in the locker room. What makes him so special, not only as a player, but as a guy in the room that, it just seems like everybody kind of gravitates towards?
Yeah, I mean, he's a vibrant guy. His personality kind of just speaks for himself. He doesn't change who he is. He's a big old kid, and we all love him for it. And, he just does the right things, and he's one of the leaders in the locker room. He's got the captain on his chest for a reason. One of my, closest buddies here. And I love that guy. And, he's a fantastic athlete and a fantastic player. And that's, one of the many reasons why we love him.
and unselfishness for this team. I mean, that's not a new story, but you go back to last game and how many times you guys were throwing the ball, and for offensive linemen, sometimes that could be frustrating because they want to get out and run block. What does it say about this group that they're so willing to do whatever the team needs?
Yeah, I mean, that's, again, it's a credit to the guys themselves, our front office for bringing the right guys in, Dable for trusting what he's calling, and us for trusting Dable for what he's calling. And again, whether we throw 60 times a game or we run 60 times a game, we're going to try to do whatever puts us in the best situation to score points and help this team win football games. And that's what it's been all year long, and that's what it's going to continue to be.
Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Josh, Dan Fates in Rochester. I like the playoff beard, man.
Thank you.
I know you don't face the Chiefs offense. I know you don't go up against Patrick Mahomes, but what type of pressure does that offense put on your guys' offense, knowing that they can score points in such a hurry?
Well, the pressure is to win the game, you got to score more than them. That's exactly what it is. And they do such a good job of moving the ball and scoring. And it could be 2 plays over the top, or it could be a 15-play drive where, Patrick's just finding his outlets and they're using their RPOs. And, I've watched enough games of them this year, just as a spectator at home on the couch while they're playing on Monday night or Sunday night, whatever the case is. And they play really good football. It's a team that seems like they really care about each other too. And like I said, they've been in this situation before. So, their sights are the same as ours, and one team's going to win, one team's going to go home. So, we got to do everything in our power to make sure that we're the team surviving.
I believe Arrowhead's going to have about 17,000 fans, something you guys haven't had to deal with this season. It's not new having to deal with crowd noise. You guys did it last year. Houston was very loud, but how different is it when you haven't felt that atmosphere of a road game in over a year?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an adjust when we get there kind of thing. We're preparing for it, but until you're in that moment, you're not really sure what to expect. And I've never played in Arrowhead, but everybody tells me the fans are right on top of it, and it's going to get extremely loud with 17,000 people. They're extremely energetic fan base. And again, when they get things rolling, it gets super loud in there. So, we're practicing for it, but until we get in the game, we won't know.
Thanks a lot, Josh.
Thank you, Dan.
Hi, Josh. It's Jay with the Buffalo News. How has going up against Tre'Davious White every day in practice sharpened your skills?
I mean, Trey's obviously one of the, if not the best corner in the game. Just his smarts, how he's able to flip his hips. He's obviously not the biggest guy, but the way that he can jam our guys at the line and get out and still run with them, he's impressive to watch, and just to see his eyes, and he's an extremely smart player. He knows when to fall off in his zones. He knows when to jump on things. So it's just kind of made me very wary of, guys that are playing at a high level and what to throw and what not to throw on them. He's one of those guys where you really don't want to throw anything at him. So, he's just one of those guys that, again, he wants this team to be the best it can be, and he practices extremely hard. And we all know he got paid this offseason, but, his work ethic hasn't changed, and that's been great. He's one of the, like I said, one of the best guys in the locker room, and he goes out there and he just competes and performs every week.
What was the reaction like when you guys watch film of that game and you see him out there serving as Terran's lead blocker and, getting the block on Lamar that really makes sure he gets into the end zone? I mean, what an effort play for a guy that, he didn't make the interception, but he's down there making sure his teammate gets in. You guys must have loved that, right?
On his birthday too, which was even better. And no, I mean, it takes 11 guys out in the field. And like I said, what we preach here, what Coach McDermott preaches is 1/11th, and, finding work and doing your job. And, that one play just kind of epitomizes of how this team really feels about each other. And you might not be the one scoring or getting in the end zone, but dang it, if I can help my brother get in the end zone, I'm going to do it.
Appreciate your time, Josh.
Yep.
Josh, Tom Canavan with the AP. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. I've talked to a lot of defensive coordinators in my career, and they'll say I can take out any receiver I want. But if you look at the guys who have reached this round, like Kelsey and Diggs and Adams, and I mean, these guys are all catching over 100 passes a year. Is that theory out the window?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've got a guy, and there's a few other guys in the league doesn't really matter what you do. If you roll a safety over the top, if you try to double team them, creates work for other guys. But it's hard. You go post high, and a guy that can consistently win, that's a huge weapon for an offense. But not only do we have staff, we've got John Brown and Cole Beasley and a couple other guys that are just athletic freaks and can do different things that not many people can in this league. And I trust our guys to go out there and do their job, and they've constantly been performing. And the thing is, if you take a safety and double Steph, and you're leaving another guy one-on-one or leaving the other side of the field pretty empty. So it helps when you got a bunch of guys that can go out there and make plays consistently.
Thank you.
Hey, Josh, it's Michael Katz from the Laramie Boomerang. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing well,
Go
obviously, Laramie is pretty excited about everything with your successes right now. Everybody here is intimately familiar with your story and kind of where you've come from. And I know that Wyoming is still really special to you. And so I kind of have a two-part question. One, what does Laramie and the University of Wyoming football program mean to you personally? And two, have you had a moment where you thought to yourself, a couple years ago, I was playing Northern Illinois in Air Force, and now I'm one game away from the Super Bowl?
Yeah, well, Laramie means so much to me. Just the fact that coaching staff was the one and only team to offer me a scholarship and allow me to continue playing football. The things that I learned there obviously have carried on, and I think if I don't use a Coach Bull quote every day of my life, I don't know what I'm doing. These constant tidbits that he would say, just some of the things that stick in my head. I still talk to Vegan and Bull every once in a while. So they're guys that are just forever. I'm forever indebted to them. And Laramie is a special place, really is. And everybody asked me how my time was at Wyoming. I can't say how much enough that I loved it, because it is that small town feel. It is that college town. That was just, it was just fun to be a part of. And, I do miss it for sure.